All right, hello. This is Melissa, your insurance exam queen here today, and I am so super excited that we are expanding our instructor team, and it's with one of my most favorite instructors, Peter Lemieux. So we actually worked together at the prior company that I was at, and he trained under me. We were always working together. He always loved all of my stuff too. He loves my PowerPoints that I make and the Kahoot games, and so we worked together for a really long time until I split off to do the insurance exam queen. And now he is ready to follow me into this journey. And I am so excited because what this means for you all is that we will have more live classes. We will have more game nights. And Peter can also do some one-on-one tutoring as well. So I'm so super excited. He can do all four lines just like me: property, casualty, life, and health. And so I wanted to introduce you guys to him and let you know that you will be seeing him throughout our live classes and our game nights. And he is very, like, I know, Peter looks like Peter and I look like me, but we are actually very similar in the way that we explain and that we teach things. Peter has a way of explaining. How do you explain how you teach, Peter? I love how you say it.
I I, like you, started my working career, but mine was 100 years ago, teaching children. And I have a simple mind. I don't get academic and complex. So when I read these long insurance words, I try to break them down into words that normal people can make sense of. Not only is it easier to understand if you do that, but it's also easier to remember. So that's a technique that I noticed in Melissa from the beginning, because she taught little children when she started off, and she has to do that. And I think that a lot of times I like getting an idea broken down to where I can understand it. I've always done that. And that's, I think, why Melissa and I have gotten along so well over the years.
Yeah. Yeah. You like to, the same way I like to make things very simple. When people are reading their courses, whoever pre-licensing provider they have, it's very college level, high jargony text. And it can be really difficult to break that down and then translate it to, well, how does this show up on the test? And you and I like to make things very simple, very easy to understand. And we're very similar in the way that we explain things. Even though we're two, very different people, we do explain and teach very simply, very easily. And so I'm super excited for that. So
You know,
yeah, we're actually, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I've been in insurance business for a long time, almost 50 years, if you can believe that. And I have always enjoyed talking to clients and brand new agents and explaining the policies. I have not enjoyed conversations with fellow agents. Because they like to get into these complex situations and phrases, and it really excites them. And I keep thinking to myself, that gets you all excited, but the basic person just driving the car and wants to know if he's covered or not, you're way in the clouds and they don't need to be there. So I've always enjoyed talking to clients. A lot of my career, actually, although I sold insurance at different levels, a lot of it was recruiting and training new agents, which I enjoyed thoroughly because I could get it down to the basics, because they're just coming into the business, as our clients are too. So I've always enjoyed that. And I think I feel right at home.
Yeah, and that's one of the cool things too. And this is where sometimes I struggle is I haven't been in the insurance industry very much in terms of actually being an active agent. So I did it for 5 years when I was younger, going through college at a call center. And that's my only experience in actually selling insurance. So my experience really comes in the teaching of the exam. So sometimes people will ask me about real life questions, and I'm like, I don't know. I could teach you how to pass the exam, but beyond that, I haven't actively sold policies in a very long time, and my experience was rather limited being in the call center.
Well, I think we have to understand our mission. I've always understood it just like Melissa does. People come to us to pass a test. So our laser focus is getting you through the test. Now, if you want to know all the little things about insurance and how certain claims are handled, if someone was on the right hand of the road on a Thursday night and things like that, your employer is going to teach that in the policies they write, because policies are always different with different clauses, but you're going to learn that well from your employer. But that's not our position. We're not employing you to sell any policies. We're trying to guide you to get a grade of pass on the exam. And that's both Melissa and ours laser focus. Get that exam done with.
Yes, yes. I just think it's definitely cool that you can also bring in actual sales experience since I do not have that. But yes, and that's one of the things too, is you're really good at, when people, Peter and I have different experiences where we teach 30 people at a time, in a classroom together. And they've got all kinds of questions. And we always go back to, that's not on the test. Here's what's on the test. Our job is to get you to pass the exam. And so we always focus on passing the exam. And this is one of the things that a lot of instructors don't focus on, oddly enough, is so many instructors in this industry want to share personal stories about things that they did or policies they sold. And while some of them are important, it's not that I use personal stories too, but every story I tell has a purpose and a reason to get you to pass the exam and to tie it to a question or a concept, where a lot of these instructors just want to talk about their job that they used to do and tell you interesting stories. And you're not actually learning exam content, where that's where Peter and I get along so well, is because we're like exam, pass, pass, pass. That is our goal. And so we'll always direct people back to, well, that's a great question, and you can ask your employer about that. But in terms of the exam, you don't need to know it. Here's what you do need to know. And that is so important.
While I'm not an avid golfer at all, I do use a golf analogy about that. Our job is to keep the ball in the fairway and not go off into the trees and the rough. And if you ask me a question that's going to go off into the rough, I may just say, I'm not going to deal with that because we're in the rough, or I may even attempt to answer it, but I'll tell them as I'm answering it, this has nothing to do with the test. It's just you and me having a cup of coffee here, but we're not moving toward the test. So we want to keep the ball in the fairway and keep understanding our missions to pass the test.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. So we're going to have, so this is our just getting Peter enrolled into our system and what we're doing. So this first week, coming up next week, we have 3 game nights scheduled. And right now you can see them on insuranceexamqueen.com under the live classes tab. I'm always figuring out new technologies and ways of booking classes. So that might change if you're watching this in the future, but we'll try to always update the links for you below. But you can always find out the best information in my Facebook group, and if you were to just do Insurance Exam Queen on Facebook, it'll pop up. But you can book your classes. We'll have 3 game nights coming up next week. We're going to have a game night for everybody because there are certain things on every insurance exam. And we're going to have that game night on Tuesday, the 22nd. And then the next night, I forgot already. The next night will be March 20. Oh, no, wait, the 21st. Sorry, my bad. The 21st is going to be a game night that covers all lines of authority. So whether you're doing property, casualty, life, or health, that game night will work for you. Wednesday, March 22nd will be property and casualty. And then Thursday is going to be life and health. And just double check the times. Unfortunately, I found in the website, it doesn't automatically update to your time zone. So we listed them in Peter's time zone because he is Mountain Standard Time. So just make sure you convert with the PST. The website had to put it as MST, so it's fine. But just check your conversions with your time zones. And I'm really excited for this for game night. And then eventually over time, we will have more classes, and we'll also roll out some tutoring time with Peter. And again, even though we look different, I promise you, he teaches like I do. He loves to explain things the way I do. And you will see that with the game nights. So I'm super excited. There was be only one other person that I would be excited to bring on as an instructor, and that would be Pat. You know, Pat. So we all work together, and us three, like, we all really, really taught the same way, and we had the same desire for the students. So Peter definitely is my jam, and I love it. And I love Peter. I love working with Peter. And like I said, we've enjoyed creating content together. And the two of us were two of the most requested instructors at the company we were both with before. So I'm super excited to bring him on. You guys will love him. And also just to have, again, another personality around here. He does explain things differently than I do in some ways, which only gives you more of a benefit to being able to learn and understand the information. And I'm just excited to have him here. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to Peter, let you know you guys are going to be seeing him a lot more within our classes and our videos. And I'm just super excited. So yeah.
I'm really looking forward to doing insurance and having fun doing it. That's what we're going to do, and we'll help you pass the test. So thank you, Melissa. I'm super excited to be a part of the organization.
Yep. Yay. All right. All the love, all the vibes to pass your exam. You guys have an amazing day.